Hello, I'm the Eternal Newbie. The extra L is for late, because today I am looking at the latest game I've ever looked at. This game may look familiar to you, it may not. It is one of my personal favorites. As a matter of fact, it is my favorite MMORPG I have ever played. I speak, of course, of Guild Wars, the original. I did like Guild Wars 2 a lot, played many hours in there. Still am in there, go in there occasionally, but there's something about Guild Wars 1 that keeps calling me back. Not sure what it is. So let's look at the beginning of this game. I happen to have this character in what we call pre, which is the very beginning part of the first game. But I don't know how close this character is to going to post. It amazes me that after all these years, this game came out in 2005. Oh, well, we're right here. I guess we're going. 2006 maybe? I don't remember exactly when. And there's still a lot of people. You see all the blue dots on the map right here? Wait, let's stop this. All these blue dots over here, those are people. Now a lot of them are just hanging out here. I don't know what they're doing. This is the little starter area. That guy's level 14. You get an award if you make it to level 20 like this guy did in the starter area. I did that on one of my characters. Ah, here we go. So basically the story is the Char, which are some giant cat people, have been sighted alongside the area. This used to be their land. Then a long time ago the humans got rid of them. Oh, no real people. I wonder if there's any real people on the other side. The humans got rid of them and kicked them out of their land, and they built this giant wall to hold them back. That was a couple of hundred years ago, I think, in game time. But there has been some Char activity spotted around here, so it's your job to figure out what's going on. What do the Char want? You gotta wait for this guy over here, Prince Rurik, to finish giving his little rah-rah speech. But once he does, he'll let you get going. It's kind of weird, this part, for me, because they've changed it. I know, it's amazing. It's, what? How old is this game? 14 years? 2005? Yeah, 14 years almost. It was April, I think. They've changed it, and you used to go do a little PvP before you moved on. But, not anymore. So, let's just let Rurik finish his thing, and we'll move on. This is also, to my recollection, which could be wrong, the only place in the game that you cannot come back to once you leave. This is called pre-searing for reasons that will be made obvious in a little bit. But the rest of the game takes place a couple years after this, and there's no time travel in Guild Wars. At least not this part. There was during April Fools, but that's another story. There's no time travel, so once you leave pre, you can't come back. Rurik looks like he's about done. Come on, Rurik. Let's go. I probably should be paying attention to what he's saying, but whatever. One thing about this game is when you're out in the wild fighting monsters and such, you will never meet another player. All of those areas are instanced. If you want to go with another player there, they have to be in your party. If you and another player leave the town at the exact same time, but you're not in the same party, you both go to different instances. In towns, it's different. In towns, you'll see other people, and I'll show you that in a bit. If there's a bunch of people in town, they might have districts, but you can always go to the same town as your friends. Unless the district's full, then they can come to your district. And there he is. Let's get him. Oh, there's a lot of Char. Bane. That's a boss. When they get that little glowy thing going, that is a boss. Ooh, I'm dead. Wow, thanks a lot, Monk. Oh, good. Thanks a lot, Monk. I don't have a Monk with me. Wow. Weird. So you find him, you look out just in time to see, hey, what's all that smoke? Oh, hi, Gwen. Little kid that you gave gifts to if you wanted to. Real nice. She gave you a small girl's cape, or you gave her the cape. I don't remember how it works. But it actually went on later in the game. I'll talk about it after this.
A way to bring it down.
So they got some dark magic. They're not happy, trying to get past the wall, and some Titans, I think they were, gave them the ability to do this, and obviously they're getting past the wall. Good things are not happening. Oof. Not good.
This is where the true story begins.
That's why they call it pre. That was like the preamble. I mean, you could stay in there a while and make it a really long pre, or you could go right through it in like an hour or so. 2 years later, you come out and... wow, they really burned up this town. They didn't take over, but they're everywhere. And as you can see, that nice, beautiful, luscious green area, not so good anymore. That sets up the rest of the game where you're basically trying to lead the survivors to safety because the Charr are about to come up with a big offensive. There's some twists and turns in there that I am not going to spoil for you because it's really worth finding out for yourself. Let's check out the city, see what it looks like. Ooh. So here we are. This is Ascalon City, that city that I started out in. Looks a lot different, eh? Everything's burnt, everything's dead. There's some people here. That is one thing I'm impressed about this game. This game came out, I think I said, in 2005 or 2006. It's 2019, people still play this game. Quite a few, as I'm going to show you in a few minutes. Because before I end this, I want to show you the rest of the game. Just a little bit of each. Just the areas. So let's go to my character that has everything open. As you can see, I did spend a lot of time playing this game. This is my original character, and he's in Ascalon City too. But he's been all over the world, so he can go anywhere. Click on this ship, and let's go to Caning Center. Caning Center is the capital city in factions, the expansion pack factions. And that is basically this big, giant city right here. All these things are missions. These are just towns. And there's Newbie Island there. You can go back to this one. The one I was just in pre is the only one you can't go back to, obviously, because of the time jump. This is where the factions that the game was named after fight each other, the Luxons and the Kruziks. And these areas change color, like, as different sides win. That's all, like, PvP. This was a fun area. It also interrupted a couple new classes, which is one of my major gripes of Guild Wars 2. They never introduced new classes. I mean, they changed the existing classes around a lot, but I wanted to play a Ritualist in Guild Wars 2. Never did. So let's go to Caning Center. We just at Caning Center. Let's go to Camadan, where I think there's some event going on. And this impresses me. If you look up here where I'm pointing, I'm in District 2. That means there are enough people to fill up an entire district and have more. Although it's probably just soft capped. We can go there. So after all these years, there's still enough people to get a second district. It's not like it was in the game's heyday. I remember going into different areas and finding like 115, 120 districts. And of course you can go to different ones. You can go to international options, stuff like that. I don't know exactly why all these people are standing around. I think there's some event, which is why this place is crowded. But there's still some people that play this game. The story in this section is there's an evil god that's trying to break loose and come free. And that's where the Nightfall comes from. That's when he breaks loose. You got to stop him. If you want to fight the boss, you go into here in the Realm of Torment. You go to different areas of this place, which I am blanking on the name right now. Istan's this little area right here. Komir? No, that's the name of the guy. I'm blanking on the name. As you can tell, I am well known for doing all the research necessary for these videos. But it was nice. There's also the last expansion that came out. These expansions, this one in Caning City, were pretty cool because they weren't really expansions. They were standalone games that connected. This one, if I remember correctly, Eye of the North, was an expansion. You actually had to have the main game for this one. So, you go up here. This was like all level 20 content. Everything else was made for new characters, so the early stuff is low. This does start at level 20. Although if you bring in a lower character, it buffs you up. And there's still people here. Nav of the North is the outpost name, but it's also the name of the scrying pole in here that shows you what's going on up here, why you're here. You're here basically because the destroyers are about to wake up, and that's bad news. Your job is to make sure they don't wake up. So let me show you the scrying pool. It's in here. And Gwen's also in here. The little girl I talked about back before during the cutscene. She's grown up, and let me show you her. Oh, I don't see her. Maybe she's not in here. It's been a long time. Here, let me go out and grab her, and I'll bring her back up in here so you guys can see her. She's an example of why Guild Wars 1 was so cool. When you first started the game and you leave the very first starter area, the very first city, you go into like the first wilderness where there are monsters, she's right outside the door, a little girl just skipping around. You do this quest with her where you give her stuff and she gives you a tapestry. Then, years later, you come here, you can actually use that tapestry as part of a quest with her, because that day she was captured by the Char, and there's actually a mission you can play that is her escaping, and it's a really good mission. It shows how she's just a little kid, she can't really fight, so it shows how she got away from them, and she made her way up here just barely a step ahead of them, where she found the Ebon Vanguard who took her in, taught her to fight, and then she became a hero. A hero is one of the characters that can come along with you. Oh look, there she is. Hey Gwen. Say hi to other Gwen. And there's her husband, Thackeray. Logan. No, Logan's Guild Wars 2. I don't remember. It's Kieran Thackeray. I always look in the Eye of the North scrying pool, and it can show me some visions. This is all part of Eye of the North, which was really cool. So, how's married life there, Gwen? Oh, you're gonna give me Kieran's bow? Thanks. Cool. Didn't know you did that. There's the Nickel Tour of Guild Wars. A great game that, over a decade later, still has replay value. The population is pretty good. Matter of fact, I was shocked when I started playing again a few years back to see how many people still play this game. I really can't recommend it enough. As a matter of fact, they are actually still making quality of life improvements to it. Just a few days ago, they improved storage and gave everyone extra storage slots. They also did some tweaking with the graphics, like last year or something, that made it more beautiful than ever. Check it out if this is the kind of game you like, and if you happen to see me, say hi. I'm always looking for new people to run around and chase red dots with. All my old friends have lives and such, and they've moved on. Bunch of losers. Thanks for watching, and as always, play your character oh wait, that's not it. I really need a catchphrase for these things. Waka waka? I'll keep trying.